Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. I want to talk about what voices you're listening to, what you're focusing on, where are you giving your attention, what energy are you expending, like where are you putting your focus, really? This determines what you take in and what comes out. If you're putting your energy and focus and listening to voices of negativity, of comparison, of not good enough, you're going to get that as an overflow of the voices that you're listening to. Who are you listening to? What voices? What are you watching on TV? What books are you reading? What are you reading on social media? If you're scrolling right now, maybe you found this video. What were you listening to before? What kind of content is in your news feed? You know, I know a lot of people, they make rules and laws for themselves to try to keep themselves within a boundary of what to listen to. But what if we decided this? Let's choose what voices we're going to listen to, instead of just being tossed to and fro to what comes at us or what touches us or influences us or makes us feel a certain way. That's one of the key ones. What voices are you listening to that make you feel a certain way? You need to choose for yourself which voices are the ones that are going to serve you to your goals and where you're going, versus which ones just make you feel a certain way. And choose, okay, I'm going to put value behind this message. I'm going to take that in and listen to it versus just having it come in. You see, a lot of times when we're subconsciously, we have all these voices that are coming in around us. We take them in and then it overflows into other areas that we didn't even realize it had influence over. Because for some reason we believe that, you know, I got this. Listen, I'm all for listening to different sources and, you know, taking in the meat and spitting out the bones. But sometimes we take in some bones because they make us feel a certain way. And it's actually poison that affects the rest of our life in a toxic way. What voices are you listening to? Just take for instance, just that thought. I don't want you to get negative, get depressed, get upset with yourself, feel shame or guilt about any of this. Just take an account for who have I been listening to? What have I allowed influence my thoughts up to this moment this week, especially going into the new year, the holiday? What voices are you listening to make and influence the decisions and the choices that you are making in your life? And do those serve you towards your goals? Are you headed in a direction that is serving you? Or are you listening to brokenness? Are you listening to pain, to suffering, to depression? What source are you plugged into? Take an account for that personally, just a personal account for that. And then choose, okay, I'm not going to listen to these voices as much. I'm going to choose to listen more to these voices and focus specifically with yourself on where you're going. What are you listening to? What are you saying to yourself? One of the worst voices that we listen to ourselves is how we talk to ourselves. How are you speaking to yourself? What are you saying about yourself? Yourself is listening to yourself. And so you have to be intentional about the voices that you're letting come in, and that impacts what comes out. If what comes out is what you don't want, maybe your actions are what you don't want, you have to look at the source. What's coming in? Where are you focused? You see, your focus is what comes in. And so look at that. Where are you focused? What are you listening to? What kind of conversations are you having? Where are you spending your energy focus? You see, where we focus is an expensive energy because it takes energy to draw in that energy. And so where are you focused? What voices are you listening to? Take an account for that. And then rather than allowing those voices to choose where you send your next focus, choose for yourself where you're going to focus. Write it down. Write down your goals. That's why goal setting is so important. That's why setting goals, that's why listening to things that serve you for your goals are so important. That's why reading, that's why having conversations and relationships that are serving you rather than holding you back, rather than comparison, rather than competition, rather than fear and worry and guilt and doubt and shame and wondering if you're on the right path or doing the right thing. You see, those voices that make you wonder that are the wrong source. Choose for yourself what voices you're going to listen to with intentionality, with intention, and say, okay, I'm not going to put a whole lot of value and weight onto this voice that I have been listening to. I'm going to choose to listen more to this. That's with other people, but then also yourself, what you're saying to yourself. I'm going to, what I've been saying right here hasn't been serving me. Focusing so much on this problem hasn't been serving me. How can I focus more on solutions and even focus less on perfection and getting it right every single time? How can I just be and relax and rest and come from a place of being to go into our purpose rather than our purpose creating who we are? Choose which voice you're listening to. Choose which voice you hear and speak, and what you speak about yourself, and the overflow of that comes out in our actions, in what we say, in what we do, in where our next point of focus is. So if you're focusing on something, you're listening to the wrong voice, on the timeline 10 minutes later, you're going to continue on that loop of focusing on the wrong thing, and that creates a lifetime of results that have led you up to this moment in time right now. In fact, listening to the wrong voices has often gotten us to right where we are right now. Sometimes listening to the right ones and having confusion and not knowing who we are, why we're doing things, knowing where we're starting from. Set goals. Start to go after those goals. Start to choose which voices to listen to. Not everybody out there has your best interest in mind, which is why you need to choose first and then go and apply your focus. Instead of allowing your focus to choose for you. I think often we allow what we're focused on to choose what we do instead of being intentional inside of us and saying, I'm going to choose the emotion that I'm feeling right now. I'm going to choose what I'm listening to, what voices I'm listening to, and then my actions are going to follow that. We actually allow our actions and what we're feeling and our emotions and everything that we're hearing to influence our choices. We need to flip that. Flip that around and choose what those things we're going to focus on are. Choose what those things we're going to do are. Choose where we're going to put our attention and what voices we're going to listen to. And then the overflow from that comes out into what we do, where we focus next. And it creates a synergy with the energy of what's coming in and what's going out. Okay? I hope that all made sense to you guys. Just choose which voices you're going to listen to. Don't let the voices that you're listening to choose for you. I think so often we're stuck in allowing what we hear and see to choose our life for us. And that our validation and the value and our worth are decided by what we hear on external terms, rather than what goes in then comes out. You see, what goes in does come out. So know that, believe that. You need to first start with that foundation and then choose what you let in and where you put your focus. And then the overflow, what comes out, will follow that in the direction of where you've chosen to go, your goals and your destiny. Grow your life, everybody. We'll talk soon.